Have you ever had a moment where two stories told years apart suddenly snap together in a way that changes everything you thought you knew? That's exactly what's been happening with Outlander. Blood of My Blood and what it now seems to be setting up for Outlander Season 8. And the more I connect the dots, the more it looks like the prequel didn't just expand the universe. It might have quietly planted the biggest answers fans have been waiting for, with Season 8 approaching, the final chapter of Jamie and Claire's saga. It feels like the writers have been working on a slow burn puzzle across generations, one that's finally ready to collide. Before going any deeper, this is your spoiler warning for Blood of My Blood. Now let's dive in, because what the prequel reveals might reshape how we understand some of the most emotional moments in the entire series. One thing no one expected from the prequel was just how much it would bring back characters fans didn't realize they missed so badly. The younger versions of Murdoch Fitzgibbons and Jocasta Mackenzie gave audiences an emotional jolt the moment they appeared. And even though these versions are played by new actors, their chemistry still feels unmistakable, like the beginnings of a bond that fans already know becomes something powerful later in life. This is especially interesting because Murdoch and Jocasta were never romantically connected in Diana Gabaldon's books. Their relationship was created just for the show, and fans loved it. In fact, Murdoch's survival in the show long past his original book death allowed that romance to exist at all. He wasn't supposed to make it beyond the Battle of Culloden, but the series changed fate itself because his character became too beloved to lose so early. Considering the show has rewritten its own rules before, who's to say it won't do it again in Season 8? Flashbacks, echoes through time, emotional callbacks. Outlander has always been willing to bend history for the sake of the characters who hold the audience's heart. So even though Murdoch is long gone by the events of Season 8, the door isn't completely closed, and that theme of stretched across impossible timelines is one the prequel leans into heavily. Blood of My Blood tells two parallel love stories, one between Jamie's parents, Brian Fraser and Ellen Mackenzie, and the other between Claire's parents, Henry and Julia Beauchamp. What makes this so surprising is that the show reveals the two couples actually knew each other. That's completely new to Outlander lore. Both pairs spend the entire season fighting against the expectations of their families and the harsh circumstances around them, just to stay together. By the finale, it looked like they were finally getting their chance at peace. But we all know nothing stays peaceful for long in this universe. For Brian and Ellen, their final moments were marked by a striking image, flaming crosses glowing across the Scottish hills, a signal that the Jacobite uprising was beginning, and that everything was about to change. They had escaped one storm only to step directly into another. We already know their love survives long enough to build Lallybroch, but the road to get there is steeped in heartbreak, danger, and sacrifice. That bittersweet mixed love surviving in the cracks of chaos is the heartbeat of Outlander, and the prequel uses it brilliantly. But the most gripping thread from the prequel, and maybe the most important for Season 8, comes from Claire's parents, Henry and Julia Beauchamp. Their ending wasn't just emotional. It left behind a massive unanswered question. As danger closed in around them, Henry made a desperate decision. Instead of letting one of them attempt to take baby William through the Cranach stones alone, he grabbed Julia's hand and forced all three of them to touch the stone together. And that's where the season ended. No confirmation of where they went. No confirmation of when they went. And absolutely no clue what becomes of William. The only thing we know for certain is that they do not end up with young Claire, because she grows up without her parents. So something tragic or mysterious must happen after they travel. Maybe they land in a time where they can't return. Maybe only one of them returns. Maybe William becomes separated from them in a way no one expects. That uncertainty is exactly what makes their storyline feel so crucial to the future of Outlander. And here's where things get even more intriguing. Season 7 ended with one of the most shocking twists in Outlander history. The possibility that Jamie and Claire's first daughter, Faith, might have somehow survived. It shook the foundation of the story because Faith's death was one of the earliest and most emotional tragedies. But then in Blood of My Blood, Julia sings "I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside to Baby William, the exact same song sung by Fanny in season 7 that first made Claire suspect Faith could be alive. That is way too specific to be an accident. It feels like the writers are leaving a trail of breadcrumbs, hinting that Henry and Julia's time travel journey may connect directly to Faith's fate. Whether Faith survived because of a ripple caused by their travel, or whether Faith somehow crossed paths with them in another era. The show seems to be setting the stage for something big. We're not supposed to have all the answers yet, but this musical detail makes it clear the timelines might be more deeply entwined than fans originally believed. Now let's talk about season 8. Because the new trailer left fans buzzing with theories, the teaser opens like a montage of everything Jamie and Claire have survived together: their first meeting, their years of adventure, their wounds, their losses, their triumphs. It plays like a quiet farewell, a reminder of the emotional weight behind their final chapter. But then come the new hints. Jamie and Claire are older, with gray hair and the calm wisdom of two people who have lived more than most ever will. They're back at Fraser's Ridge, surrounded by Brianna, Roger, and the children. For a moment, it feels peaceful, settled, almost as settled. Then comes the line that cracks that piece apart. Jamie sits on the bed, reading a book written by Frank Randall. He tells Claire that the book describes the effects of the Revolutionary War on the backcountry and that it says James Fraser, the Ridge's namesake, died in the war. Fans of the books recognize this instantly. Frank's book is a huge part of Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, Diana Gabaldon's 9th novel. Season 7 skipped the storyline entirely, making fans worry the show might never touch it. But the trailer confirms that the writers are bringing it front and center for the final season. In the books, Brianna later finds a hidden letter from Frank inside that very book, one filled with secrets about what he knew, when he knew it, and what he tried to protect her from. It's one of the most haunting parts of Gabaldon's storytelling, where time, love, and destiny collide in a way only Outlander can pull off. But here's the strange part. The trailer doesn't mention Faith at all. Not a single nod to the twist that closed season 7. That silence could mean they're saving the Faith storyline for a later reveal. Or, just maybe, the two plot lines, Faith's fate and Jamie's recorded death, are meant to crash together in the final episodes. Season 8 has an enormous challenge ahead of it. With only 10 episodes left, the show needs to give closure not only to Jamie and Claire, but to Brianna, Roger, Ian, Rachel, William, Lord John, and more. There are two huge mysteries: the possibility that Faith survived and the looming shadow of Jamie's recorded death, and now the threads from the prequel have been woven into the picture as well. If the writers can bring all of these pieces together, season 8 could deliver one of the most emotional endings the franchise has ever seen. One that ties generations together and gives meaning to everything that came before. But the key will be pacing. There's a mountain of story to cover, and only a handful of episodes. If they pull it off, though, fans might get a finale that feels truly full circle, one that honors the past, the present, and all the invisible threads of time that have always held the story together. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive. There's so much still left unanswered, but that's part of what makes Outlander so powerful: its ability to keep surprising us, even after all these years. Thanks for joining in on this journey, and let's see what the future holds in season 8.